Hello everyone, today we're making a lasagna. I have been making lasagnas for a while. I worked at Olive Garden for 5 years as a prep cook, saute cook, and eventually culinary professional and everything in between. My grandma made a killer lasagna. She taught me how to make that when I was very young, and she used to make it on my birthday. So lasagna is actually a type of pasta. It's not the dish, not to be confused, and it's actually the first pasta ever made. Pretty simple, right? A little sheet. 1390 was the first lasagna recipe, the oldest ever found in Great Britain, but they say that Greece originated. So depends who you ask. So for our ingredients, we have some ground turkey as our meat, pre-made red sauce, salt, pepper, basil, extra virgin olive oil, ricotta. We're gonna hard boil the eggs, garlic, onion, bell pepper, marinate the eggplant, Parmesan cheese, and milk for the bechamel. We need an oven and some saute pans, a couple of pots, mixing bowls, Pyrex pan, knife, a whisk, wooden spoon, and a rubber spatula with a cutting board. Using non-metal because I have copper pans. So preheat your oven to 375. Do this because it will lose heat when you open it up and put your finished lasagna in there, or almost finished. And once it's in there, you will turn it down to 350 and cook it for 1 hour at 350, but preheat to 375. You want to prep your veggies and marinate your eggplant ahead of time. Your eggplant as soon as possible because you want it to marinate as long as possible in olive oil, salt, and pepper. And then you got your onions, bell peppers, and garlic cut whichever way you like it. And just be careful not to cut yourself. Your eggs, to hard boil eggs is pretty simple. You just put the eggs in the pot first, fill it with cold water above the eggs, get it to a roaring boil. Once it's boiling, turn it off, cover it for 10 to 12 minutes on the stove with no heat, and rinse in cold water. So we're going to cook up the eggplant after it's marinating. You could grill it, saute it, bake it, whichever you like. I thought I would just use the saute pan and just flip it up. And here I'm just showing off some flips. And the meat sauce is simple. Saute the onions in olive oil, add the garlic. Cook your meat until the pinkness is gone. Then you add your veggies. Cook that a bit longer. Add your red sauce. Save the jar, just add a little bit of water, don't rinse it out, and then you're going to use that as your baking sauce. Next, you're going to make your bechamel, which is basically like an Alfredo. So you're going to not make a roux, you're just heating up some milk, just slowly heat it up, add with some butter, add your flour. Once that heats up some more, add your salt, pepper, and Parmesan cheese, and just kind of leave it on low heat for a little bit. Your ricotta mix is just going to be the ricotta mixed with Parmesan cheese, freeze-dried basil or fresh, whatever you have. Italian seasoning works good too, and Parmesan and mozzarella. You got shredded mozzarella and your eggs cut up and peeled for easy prepping. So now you grease your pan. The greasier the better for the person washing it. And not just don't try to save on calories by not greasing the pan because you will regret it when you're serving it. It'll just stick all over the place. So just use maybe olive oil if you are worried about that. Here using your baking sauce that we put aside, you're going to put half of that into the bottom, and that way it'll create moisture for when the lasagna is baking with it, since it isn't oven ready. The instructions say to add a bit of water. Here you got your lasagna sheets, and I like to spread the ricotta over them. I used to get them ricottaed when I was making them at Olive Garden, so I got used to this. It's just a lot easier. A little bit messy at first, but so you just start stacking your ingredients how you like it. Make sure it's like a kind of a sandwich thing. You start with lasagna and you end with lasagna at the top. And you just use your ingredients as you like until they run out or you get to the top. whichever comes first. And here's just cheese, eggs, eggplant, ricotta on the pasta, and bechamel with the meat sauce. Here we got to the top. Cover it with baking sauce. Fill in the gaps with more pasta sheets and just create little. Just keep layering, keep stacking. Cover it with pasta with the sauce. You don't want it to be real wet. You don't want it to be dry because you'll just have hard burnt pasta. Cover it with aluminum foil or parchment paper. And parchment paper. Only aluminum foil if you don't have parchment paper is fine. Bake at 350 for 1 hour. If your oven runs hotter, a little bit, 5 minutes give or take. Take it out of the oven. Remove the foil. Add your cheese. And here I'm just showing you how it looks nice and cooked. But it's not done yet. You want to put a nice coat of cheese on top to get a nice, good top layer. And you want to bake that for about 15 to 30 minutes until you get this kind of a nice crispy brownness. You want 80% brownness all around. The edges, nice crispy, and dark brown peaks all over the cheese. And wait. You must wait. You must let it settle for at least 30 minutes. That way it will not become a sloppy mess when you go to cut into it. Trust me, it's worth the wait. It'll still be super piping hot for you to burn your tongue. Anyways, so leave it covered for 30 minutes, settle before serving. And once and if you want to reheat it, just pop the whole thing back in the oven with some foil and you're good to go.